You're on.
Hi, I'm Linda Lizotte. I'm a registered dietitian, nutritionist.
Oh, you cannot buy it in a store?
Yeah, you can. It's funny because that's made by a company named OMG, and my company's named AMG for Age More Gracefully. And I brought the moringa powder with me because I think it's interesting that in this day and age that there's almost nobody taking superfoods, putting them into lotions, which then we put on our body. We're eating it because your skin absorbs. Those loaded with pores, and the pores love to absorb. So pores also help us excrete, get rid of things that the body doesn't want. When we sweat, we'll get rid of some toxins, which is why people go in saunas. But we also absorb way more things than you'd ever want to know through our skin. So realizing that as a nutritionist and reading labels on the cosmetics out there, hours and hours and hours of standing in Sephora and department stores and pharmacies and Marshalls and TJ Maxx and reading every single label. Even though organic products usually have chemicals in there, they're still using chemical preservatives. You know, just because I bought organic moringa powder and organic moringa oil, the oil comes out of the seed, and those plants were not sprayed with pesticides, that's great. But so, and I put organic on my label, but then my chemist told me, well, I can't make that without methylparaben. I can't make that last 2 to 3 years without diethylhexyl phthalate. And then everyone wants it to smell good, right? So now you have to add some fragrance, and fragrance always has phthalates and plasticizers in it. And so if you
Not natural fragrance.
well, there is natural fragrance is going to be from a plant or an essential oil. I would never use the word fragrance. I'll put some essential oils like ylang ylang, which is basically a fruit, in my products, but I'm never going to add a fragrance. So fragrance is synthetically concocted in a laboratory. You know, like if you put your crazy scientist hat on, that's how fragrances and perfumes are made. You imagine how many people make a living in a laboratory with a chemistry degree, making perfume after perfume after perfume, and they all have to smell different. So you have to do a different concoction on each one. So picture like the big, witch bowl here with the steam coming out. So that it's just a really pet peeve of mine that it's really hard to find natural products, and especially the fact that European Union, then Japan followed suit 15 years ago. They banned, in my PowerPoints and in my info, some of you got this already at my booth, and I have written so many articles on dangers of parabens and the dangers of phthalates. And so here's the phthalate article, and it starts with what looks like poison. And it's funny, our booth is, when you go upstairs, it's the first one on your right. And the H2O echo that was just here is right to the right of me. And it's funny how God works, because last week I had a meeting with a chiropractor who said, I'm going to start selling your products because I read all your information about how toxic they are, and this brochure really hit home with him, and how it's disrupting hormones and causing infertility and birth defects even in baby boys. It's not just affecting women. So he wants to start selling it because he doesn't want his patients skintoxing. And he said to me, can you recommend a really good water purifier? And I said, I am looking for one, and when I go to that trade show, I'm gonna do my best to find one. And guess who was right to the right of me? The gentleman that just lectured on from my 25 years as a nutritionist and going to trade shows for my ex-company was Designs for Health, which is a vitamin supplement company that now is all over the country, all over the world. I got divorced, and I said, well, I still want to do nutrition and I want to do vitamins, but I'm kind of tired of the supplement world, and I just want to shine and do something different and make a difference in the world, doing something that's a new creative challenge for me. And I've been doing research on this going back 6 years. So I said it's the perfect thing for me to do. I was already falling in love with moringa and sachi inchi, which we'll talk about. So I said, as a nutritionist, why not put, these vitamins like onto your skin? So when I write my newsletters and my blogs, this is a long list of the different phthalates. I will pick a product, I will highlight bad ingredients in that product, and I will tell you exactly what they are, why did they put them in the product in the first place, and how is that ingredient bad for my health, my wife's health, my 14-year-old teenage daughter's health, So I really want to educate and get this message out there, because a lot of the people that came to the booth, really educated, said, you can't find anything like this. It's not out there. Because if it's organic, it's got chemicals, and if it's got chemicals, well, at least in the natural products, they don't know how to preserve them, so they're going bad, and they're separating, and people get frustrated. So it's been a hard thing to accomplish. And from my experience, what I can see is the chemists aren't thinking outside the box like I did. I had to work with a female chemist to say, well, in my vitamin worlds, for an emulsifier, we would use this. And to preserve our fish oils, we would use rosemary extract and this antioxidant and that antioxidant. Why can't we try that? She said, oh, that actually might work. And see what happens with the chemists are only as good as they were trained. They were probably been trained the same way for the last 300 years. And they're not thinking outside the box. And then in the cosmetic industry, everybody's just copying the product next to them. Everyone's copying, and putting another label, different looking label on it, and maybe changing the smell with a different fragrance, right? So I decided I need to, when I created my plant preservative system that works, I said I'm not going to say exactly what it is. I'm going to say proprietary plant and vegetable, fruits and vegetable based preservative system, because somebody would knock it off in a second if they knew how I was doing this. So long story short, the skin is the largest organ. It does absorb. You're eating everything that you rub on your skin, and everyone's looking for a way to age more gracefully, but we should be doing it naturally. So the company is AMG Naturally for age more gracefully naturally. It can be done, and it should be done. And don't you think the chemicals that we're talking about would age you faster? They are carcinogenic. There's a lot of evidence. Even kind of I find bizarre is like if you travel, who's traveled anywhere? Like when I went to Mexico, especially if you're going out of the country, you see the signs, big as this, that say protect yourself from Zika. The only thing that we approve is DEET, okay? Diethylamine, toluene, and whatever it is. It's neurotoxic, it kills brain cells. People are spraying it on their kids. I would spray this on my kids in a second. I'll spray this on my dogs. And then if you'll notice, the room's gonna smell like lemons. It's very safe.
Toxic, you said?
It's all, speaking of essential oils, it's all essential oils.
And what is this?
Oopsie, I'm getting carried away. There's 4 different oils in here from plants. There's cinnamon oil, lemon eucalyptus. So that's what you're smelling. There's linalool. So they're all from plants, because plants obviously are smart. Yeah, that's lemon eucalyptus and lemongrass. Lemongrass. So does that smell better than any DEET spray you've ever used? This is a bug repellent. I decided I have to put my money where my mouth is, so I found a testing company. That's all they do is test what they call bug repellents, because that's, to the FDA, anything that scares bugs away is a bug repellent, whether it's on the grass or anywhere else. So this kept mosquitoes off, and they did not bite for guess how long? Just throw it out there. An hour? 2 hours? 3 hours. And then if you think about it, like I live on a lake, so if I'm having a cookout outside at the lake, I'm probably not likely to be there later than 7 to 10 p.m., right? Then I'm ready to go inside and pack it in. So I think 3 hours is pretty good. I've seen 8 hours. I don't believe it. I'd like to see the proof. It's not, I mean, Coleman says they have a natural version of their chemical wand, and they say it lasts a long time, but I don't know. I would love to ask them for the actual study results. So anyway, then I said sunblock.
Will that keep ticks off you when you're walking in the woods?
There's 2 of the ingredients in here that if you really study them like I do, because I'm always in like medical library and I'm always, Googling and everything, but I really prefer to go right to the medical library because there's so much nonsense on Google. Even Wikipedia, the information comes from just whoever decided to hand them the information so they could get, full page on lemongrass really fast. And a lot of it is super good info. I like Wikipedia, but a lot of it's sometimes wrong too. So my point is that, what'd you ask me again?
If it keeps ticks off.
Oh, ticks. So in all that studying, I did find some evidence of some of these ingredients effective against ticks. So I have an Australian Shepherd. They're very long, beautiful, thick fur. So also in a very wooded area. I put tick stuff, the lotion, clear stuff on the back of his neck, like on a Thursday. I remember taking him out. They say it takes a few days to work. I took him out for a walk like the following Thursday, and I came back and he had 6 ticks on him. I said, well, how effective is that anti-tick stuff, which is supposed to go, it's going into their bloodstream, which scares me a little bit. Ticks scare me maybe more, and I haven't seen the evidence against, those products. You have to do something, right? So now I spray myself. The first 6 times I learned I kept spraying him, and then I would get in the shower and say, oh, I have a tick burrowing into my leg. So from now on, I am spraying myself too. I'm important too. So, I start down low, and then work up, spray your clothes, whatever. It's super, super safe. I spray my dog. He always gives me, there's that stuff again. Here it comes. Stand there, he goes to lie down or run away, and because dogs don't love smells of any kind, unless it's bacon. So, I'll spray his feet, I'll spray the legs, and then I just go around here, and then I don't spray it in his face, but I'll start here and I'll go to the back. And so I spray him every time before I take him for a walk. I've seen a huge improvement. So I guess that'll be the next test I have to do, right? So then I was really looking at just skin cancer. I wrote 2 newsletters on skin cancer after really reading a lot and looking at the studies and looking at chemical ingredients. And I said, skin cancer is on the rise. Doesn't it seem like the last 5 years at least, I'd say 7, 8, 9, that the education about using sunblock has gone way up? Have you noticed that? Sunblock, screen, block. Before you even go out, put it in your lotions. Why not have it in every single lotion? So that it's one step to put on your moisturizing cream, and you already have your SPF, and you're running out to work or yoga class. So I would never put a chemical SPF in any of my line, but there are plants that make SPFs. So, let me get that, I'll show it to you. Here it is. All of these raspberry seed, tamanu plant, which also has another name, tamanu, coconut. We've been using coconut oil forever, right? And where does coconut grow? Anywhere where is it hot in all those places?
Yeah, it's hot and wet.
Are people outdoors a lot in all of those places? So funny that nature gave us, coconuts in places where they were going to be exposed to sun so much. Shea butter you've been hearing about in creams and hand creams forever, but it's more like greatest moisturizer. It has an SPF of 3 to 6. Coconut between 7 to 10. Coconut was even in, remember the original Hawaiian Tropic? No, that was based on coconut oil. it does have SPF. Carrot seed oil, 3 to 6. Tamanu, I'm really impressed with, which is 18 to 22. Nobody's using this. You've probably never heard of it. Red raspberry, 28 to 50. So, in my opinion, if people say, what is this? I just kind of averaged it to 15, you know, because they say, what, and I will never put it on the label because I don't want the FDA, you know, challenging that. Very, very expensive to do those studies. Someday I will. Want to get 80,000 customers, I'll do those studies. So no one's doing this. No one left out the zinc oxide, the titanium dioxide, the octinoxate, which here's some things you need to know about that. It becomes extremely toxic when it's exposed to sunlight. Hello? It's an endocrine disruptor. Dioxybenzone. Does that sound like it's good for you? Nope. It increases free radicals, which we just heard about, which contribute to wrinkles, skin aging, breakdown of collagen and elastin so the skin isn't so tight. Where everyone's getting, you know, you're doing Botox and they're getting facelifts, you know, and guess what they're doing? They're putting dioxybenzone on their skin every day so they don't get skin cancer, which is on the rise, despite everybody doing that. And increases inflammation, and it's likely cancer-causing. Oxybenzone causes DNA damage. Do you think that's likely to increase risk of cancer? Of course. It's carcinogenic. It's a hormone disruptor, and it's banned in Japan. Sinoxate increases infertility. It kills marine life, and it's linked to toxicity in humans. That's the other issue, is we've got environmentalists being worried about the coral reef, and it's absolutely a huge problem. And fish are not as healthy. They were seeing problems with them being able to reproduce. So what do you think happens when you're in a tourist area and everybody's putting these on and they're going swimming? Don't they always say to reapply your sunscreen and your sunblock when you get out of the water? Well, the fish is eating it. It's sad. And the chemicals are so bad it's destroying coral reef. And I included in my last newsletter I did about skin cancer and to screen or not to screen. We should screen, but why not screen naturally? Let's mimic what nature does. Let's mimic what plants do. Because, and again, I won't call it like a 15 or sunscreen or sunblock, because I hate the word block because I don't want to block vitamin D production in the skin. And I don't believe in 30 and 50 and 100, and there's really no proof that there's anything higher than 30 anyway. Because then you have to triple the amounts of these, and you have to really put it on more often. Okay, so that's not going to really help, and it's going to hurt your health. So this allows you to get a little bit tan. And if you really study what makes the skin the healthiest and the lowest incidence of skin cancer are people that are able to produce melanin, which is naturally happens in your skin. So if I, went down to Florida for a week, I'd stay out in the sun for maybe half an hour the first day. Put this on first because I want my antioxidants to protect my DNA. And it's an amazing lotion. It's an amazing moisturizer because not only does it have the shea and coconut, but it also has hyaluronic acid, which holds the water in your skin so you don't get dried out. And then, it allows me to produce melanin and vitamin D. And the next day I would do the same thing, stay in the sun 45 minutes, and the next day an hour, and the next day an hour and a half, and I have a nice base tan when I get back. And I never see redness, I never see a burn. And then I make the elixir oil that I make is moringa oil from this seed with Sacha Inchi. Has anyone heard of Sacha Inchi plant? I'll pass these around. This is called an Inca peanut. It was Indians of Peru would eat this as a snack. And I think this is going to be the #1 superfood in the U.S. within the next 5 years. You know, it looks interesting. Pass them around. You can eat them. They're high in fiber, protein, omega-3s. 50% of the oil from the seed is omega-3 fatty acids. So this is better than chia.
This is seed of what?
The Sacha Inchi tree. Sacha Inchi tree, which grows in the Peruvian rainforest.
And this is roasted?
It's roasted. The ones I really, really love are coated in dark chocolate. So we always give them out at our booth so we can, let people know that they could be buying these in the health food store. You know, good nutrition inside and outside, right? So why shouldn't we? Don't you think we would double our efforts, results, if we did both? So the oil from the seed that grows in Peru in the rainforest is called Sacha Inchi oil. And again, I told you about all the nutrients it contains. And nobody is combining moringa oil with Sacha Inchi oil, 2 amazing superfoods, into a cosmetic lotion. And then on top of it, adding the green powder, which has all the vitamins, all of this nutrition. And I'm most excited about a flavonoid that's in here that no one's talking about. I think I'm the first one to discover it really, but I've discovered researchers talking about it in a study where they refer to it as an anti-aging plant compound. It increases senescence of the plant, that the leaf lives longer, and it's anti-aging to humans. So if you put that on your skin every day, and you try to get some, this powder into you every day, that's the best anti-aging thing you could do.
What's that called? What's it called? The plant in it? No,
This?
not moringa, but the thing you're saying the scientists discovered is.
Oh, good question. Zeatin. It's really simple. Zeatin. Zeatin. And I'm not talking about it all that much because I'm so afraid someone's going to get on the bandwagon. The companies have way more money than I do to be able to add that to a formula. But at the same time, I'm really passionate about education. But most important is how we're damaging our health and fish and ocean life by using the wrong cosmetics. And, our health and ruining our skin. So, to use a product line like this, you're saving a lot of money and you're putting vitamins into you. Because again, largest organ of the body and what you put on your skin, you're eating. So the oil looks like this. I'll pass it around. It looks like it's teeny bit oily at first. And then if you look back down your hand in 5 minutes, it'll be sucked right in because the skin loves it. And it drives the vitamins into the skin. This has a lot of vitamin E, a lot of vitamin A. Put some on if you want, rub it in, pass it around. And everyone loves the smell. It just smells like plants. And men love that. They love the smell. That's the best aftershave in the world because in those 2 plants, you have omega-3 is anti-inflammatory. Moringa makes all kinds of flavonoids that are anti-inflammatory. It's antibacterial. Your pores are wide open. It would be great for dry skin after we shave our legs. So it's good for a lot of things. Your hair, I put it on my hair before I go to bed. I put it on my skin. I never really put on base makeup. I haven't used it in years. I feel like my skin just gets better and better if I use this in the morning and night routine. Even redness, I used to have a lot of red lines and broken capillaries, and those are gone. I got rid of these lines. You get the lines, but I named them today, I named them wine lines. So it's not just fine lines, but wine lines. And then here and under my eyes, the oil with this under eye serum. So this has all the superfoods. I added plant retinol, which is of all the natural antioxidant ingredients that have been studied by researchers for wrinkles, retinol is #1. The number one research with positive results in every study I've seen is using retinol. So I have retinol in the under eye serum, a lot of retinol, and the nighttime cream, which turns your cells over while you're sleeping, with all these superfoods, plus retinol. Plus I added CoQ10 and MSM. Yeah, so I put that here. I put it here too because I'm worried about the thinning skin here and here for collagen. And then I use it in all my problem areas here, here. Hello.
Under eye one you can use here as well?
Yeah, any areas where you want to get rid of fine lines that you notice that bother you. So I have thicker lines here. These are tough, but I refuse to do Botox. So I put it in these lines. I put it here. I do here and here for thinning skin and collagen. Here, you know, I get wrinkles and I keep getting rid of them and they come back because of smiling and laughing a lot, just being happy. And if you're traveling and you're on a all-inclusive, you're really happy and you're really laughing a lot and you come back and you go, oh my, I better really get on my under eye serum and start doing it twice a day again, and it always turns it around. It's amazing stuff. So that's the number one seller in the line. And the number two seller is the superfood infused elixir oil, which you are passing around right now, because that has so many uses. So after I do the under eye, I do that. We have a foaming face wash that's papaya based, and then I have exfoliator for getting rid of dead skin, and then a clay mask which pulls toxins out, which I've had at least 15 teenagers say that it's getting rid of their acne. I have one case of a 15-year-old boy that just started using the foaming face wash. He got rid of whatever he was using, used the papaya foaming face wash, his acne went away. And then when he ran out of it, acne came back. We went back on it, acne went away, and this has happened multiple times. So he's pretty convinced, because it's not easy to convince teenagers. And I'm really against Proactive, because they won't even list their ingredients. And I've had to search, and I found their ingredients, and they have a lot of chemicals, including aluminum. And I don't want these teenagers putting aluminum on their skin. I don't think you do either. So somebody at the booth asked me, what about if you just have a situation where your skin feels dry? And I felt that way like when I woke up in a hotel this morning. Sometimes when I get a shower, and I know it's not from my face wash, but the chlorine in the water. Sometimes I just feel really dried out. So this sprays minerals on your skin from fulvic acid, and then there's some ylang-ylang and some other good essential oils in here. And so that's your minerals, so that's going to help your pH, and that's going to be healthy for your skin. You know, minerals are great for you. And then the nighttime moisturizer has super amount of retinol, and I added hyaluronic acid, CoQ10, and all kinds of other things to that. And the only thing left is the daily moisturizer. So the daily moisturizer does have some, shea and some things that will protect you from the sun. I go back and forth. If I think I'm going to be outside a lot, I use this as my morning moisturizer. And if I'm going to be in the office all day, I use this as my morning moisturizer. All right. And that's about it. So I think anyone with any of these conditions, allergies, autoimmune disease, chemical sensitivity, cancer, should be using only these products, nothing else. Because again, you don't know what's in that fragrance. You're not sure what chemicals they might have used. And then one of my biggest pet peeves is formaldehyde releasers. Johnson & Johnson baby shampoo took a formaldehyde releaser, there might have been more than one, out of their baby shampoo only a year ago. And people don't recognize them because it'll be like urea or quaternium 15 or DMDM hydantoin. These sound a little familiar to you. These are all formaldehyde releasers, so I have like a whole slide on that. If you need any info from me, I'd be happy to give it to you. And that's it. So, to kind of show